You're tuned in to the internet's #1 heavy metal radio show.
Press play. Hot enough to melt your speakers.
DJ GD's Metallicave.
All right, Metallicave live here, craniumradio.com, hanging out here on a Thursday evening, a Friday eve. This is the beginning of the weekend for us metalheads. I mean, yeah, a lot of people have work tomorrow, I get it, but this is the beginning of the weekend for me, you know? I mean, I work tomorrow, but fuck that. It's about the metal. This is about the metal, you know? And we're hanging out tonight with our metal friends all over the world, and there's nothing better than that. And on craniumradio.com, the internet's fastest growing, by the way, fastest growing. We are growing like you wouldn't believe, like mushrooms on a humid day.
Kids are great.
They're great. They're great. But, so yeah, man, we are hanging out tonight with the one, the only, Vessel of Light. What is going on, guys?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
I mean, you have to ask us what's going on. You actually don't know what's going on.
Well,
is that like a rhetorical question?
Well, it's actually a little bit of both. It's a little bit of both, and I say that because I kind of figured there's not much going on, but there's also the album just dropped.
Yes.
Last Ride, October 23rd. It's almost been out almost a week now.
Almost a week, yeah.
You know?
And I'm looking at your beautiful shirt that you homemade. Now, where do you make that shirt again? Because I really do love it. He's wearing a Vessel of Light, Thy Serpent Rise.
Oh yeah, this is beautiful right
It's
here.
really a cool shirt. I'm being serious.
Shirt.
Yeah.
And I made sure before I ordered it that I called you.
Oh,
and I said, "Can I order it with your product on it?" Because you know what? Sometimes people are like,
it's not like we signed an exclusive deal with Season of Mist in America and in Europe where you can buy multiple Vessel of Light, Hades, Nonfiction, Dan Lorenzo, and Ancient Wisdom shirts.
You are a promo machine.
Now, Season of Mist are making our shirts now, but they don't have that shirt, so you...
Yeah, this is like the new thing. It's like this all-over shirt where I think bands should do that more often now because, I love the concert shirts, your black shirts with your print on it, but when you have something like this, I just think it's really cool, man. And we're on Facebook Live, by the way, at the same time as we're doing this, so hanging out here. So, guys, here's a question for you. Your albums come out at least once a year? A little bit, even a little bit less, right?
More.
Right. Well, Last Rider was our 4th album in 2 years and 50 weeks, if you want to get exact. So, yeah, we've done 4 albums together, and now it'll be 3 years.
He loves those stats.
Yeah.
Well, he's a stat guy,
Yeah.
and that's a good thing. He told me it earlier in this week. He texted me. He goes, "I'm a jock."
Yeah.
So I know that. So stats are important.
Yeah.
And so, like, Serpent Rise comes out, right? What do? You already have stuff written for Last Ride, or you're just like, didn't even start it yet?
No, I didn't even start it yet. There was one song that Nathan didn't do, actually, for Thy Serpent Rise that we still have sitting there with Jimmy, myself, Ron Lipnicki, who Ron Lipnicki is listening right now. He's apologizing.
Ronnie,
he didn't
baby.
come tonight, but Ron is listening.
Hey, Ron.
And, Nathan just didn't write lyrics or melody, but I really didn't start writing Thy Serpent Rise until after... I didn't start writing Last Ride until Thy Serpent Rise came out, so I don't know how it happened, but it's just like, I play basketball all summer long, and then in the winter I start writing, and then I think I went into the studio right after Christmas, because we record our albums in a very unusual way for Woodshed and Thy Serpent Ride and Last Ride, where I go do everything first to a click track. So I basically finish all my guitar parts, maybe not the solos, but all the rhythms, everything. Like, I'm done. Mm-hmm. And then I mail, I send everything MP3s to the rest of the guys, and then they come in. So I think I started recording the music for this and the day after Christmas, I believe, for Thy Serpent Rise.
That's cool, man. And then, Nathan, you record your stuff after everything else is recorded, or in between? How did it work?
Dan will send me some stuff that'll be drums and guitar, and then I can kind of establish some vocal melodies and start to write a little bit to it, and then he'll send me something with bass, drums, and guitar, and then I'll kind of process that a little bit, and that's kind of just how it works, you know what I mean? And then once I hear the melodies from the songs and stuff like that, they kind of just stir in my mind a little bit for a while, and then let that digest a little bit, and see what I want to talk about on the next record or whatever.
I want to give Nathan a nice plug here. When he says he hears the melodies, I'm not singing him the melodies. He's coming up with those, so he means hears them in his head, right?
Yeah.
That's
right?
cool as hell. That's really cool.
Taking the time to hash them out and find out where they need to be, and just really trying to do what's appropriate for for Dan's riffs, you know what I mean, to make the song stand out. You know, it's really kind of me complimenting his writing ability. You know, so it's kind of like, you know, I'm just trying to find out the best lyrics and the best melodies to make his songs, you know, kind of soar a little bit. You know, that's my intention anyway.
So, like on every album, do you stick with kind of like when you come up, you hear Dan's first song, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, you listen to it over and over again, and it kind of like sinks in your head. And then do lyrics come out, or do you have an idea?
I usually, especially for, you know, for this last record, everything is kind of like a chapter of a story. Mm-hmm. And Last Ride's like kind of like the arising action of a story, or the climax of a story, I would say. You know, and you know, our EP was establishing the foundation. Woodshed was kind of like starting to stack and build it, and now it's kind of getting to the point where the story's starting to like really take its peak. You know, and it takes, you know, it takes however amount of time it takes for me to write lyrics or vocals, melodies or lines and stuff like that. It's really not like a determined thing, and sometimes things just fall into place or lock in, you know what I mean, like a puzzle or something. All of a sudden it just works, and then one thing can inspire you by just having like one thought, like Carving Station, for instance.
Mm-hmm. Love that track. Probably one of my favorites. One of my favorites.
Ron came up with that title.
Oh shit!
And I was like, for like a pending title for a song.
Yeah.
This is like, you know,
all the songs have like temporary titles when I send them to Nathan.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Last Ride was a song called Last Night because I wrote it on a Thursday night and I recorded it on a Friday. So I just sent it to Nathan. This one's called Last Night, not because I want that to be the song title, but because that's how we can reference and know what songs we're talking about. You know?
Yeah. No, I think that's kick-ass,
man. So like the way I write lyrics is kind of, it plays off of what these guys kind of give me. I kind of like, you know, Carving Station, for example, I thought that title was cool, so I'm like, I'm going to find something that can kind of revolve around that title, you know? And a song like Last Ride was called Last Night, and it just triggers that little thought in my head, you know? Sometimes the fake titles you give me inspiration to write lyrics, you know? Like, you know, just have, like, something that just triggers a thought, or something that, you know, makes you, you know, kind of find that right thing for the song or whatever. Maybe it was just meant to be like that, I guess. You know, but
that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's, you know, it's fun to do.
I think that's freaking kick-ass. And have you guys ever thought of, like, the way you're talking about your songs now? Have you guys, when you're writing as well, Dan, the music concept album? Possibly?
No, I never thought of that. I didn't realize what Nathan was doing, I think, until Woodshed came out. I'm like, oh, now I get it. Because I was really confused. I'm like, wait, he said that line in another song. I feel like he's referencing this other song. What's he doing? And then it took me a while to really realize, like, and when he sent me Woodshed, I'm like, oh, boy, this is going to be a problem. These lyrics are over the top, you know. We're going to get in trouble for these lyrics. And I didn't really realize until probably after the record was finished how genius everything really was and how clever. And you have to really, you know, thank God we have, by the way, we're signed with Nomad Eel Records out of California now. And so there's cool lyrics inside the cassette, the CD, and the vinyl. The vinyl's not going to be out until January, but the Last Ride cassette and CD are out now with the lyrics. And you really should check out Nathan's lyrics because they're really, really clever. And what you're reading and what you assume they mean is not always, your first assumption could be wrong. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, and I like that about lyrics like that. Because there's so many songs, there's so many bands out there, you know, you're singing the whole time, you know the song, you're singing them, and then you really sit down and you listen to a song and you're like, holy shit. Like Sean over here, Meat and Bone.
Right.
To him, when he hears that, he wants chicken wings. Right. You know?
And I remember you mentioned pizza coming at 8:30.
It's
so
right behind you.
Oh, is it? It's getting cold. Oh, my God. And we're talking?
Of course.
Right.
But, you know, like, so he thinks a chicken wing, but only because Meat and Bone's one.
But it's meat and bone.
But then there's other people that are like the name Meat and Bone, and then there's other people that think of it like you're meeting someone and you're boning them.
Who would think that?
Right.
Not with the spelling.
Right. Well, some people don't know the spelling, and they just hear the song, and I think that's cool as hell because, you know, it makes him hungry,
Right.
you know, and it makes other people want to fuck.
I never thought about it like that. It could be like a promo for like Church's Chicken or
Yeah,
something
like
that.
Pizza
yeah.
Hut's going to contact you, you know, and they're going to be like, chicken
You know,
Caesar.
oddly enough, where that lyric came from is from American Psycho.
What scene was
So
that?
cool.
I'm curious.
There's a point in the movie where he's doing crossword puzzles at his desk, and he's drawing like pictures of like people getting hacked up with axes,
Oh,
and he just
yeah.
put meat, bone, and every line,
Need any help?
meat, bone, meat, bone.
That's
fuck,
so
that's
fucking
awesome.
cool.
That movie kind of inspired that line.
That's
and
cool.
that song in general.
I love
Yeah, kind of weird, right?
Now you know.
No, but it's
that's
cool,
not
man.
weird at all. That's awesome.
I like
I'm a huge fan of
yeah,
that.
I like the way lyrics kind of like sometimes they just show up and they pop into your head, and sometimes you think about them, and then the songs come out. Rich of the Brothers Grimm
Right.
asked me to ask you a question
Hi,
earlier.
Rich.
So going into a new album,
Right.
right? Do you go into it wanting a different sound, or are you looking for a similar sound, or are you looking for better production? What do you go
Well,
into besides just the music?
J-Rod up in Pomona, New York, J-Rod Productions, he's in charge of the production. But no, I would say no. Like, I mean, so say for Last Ride, I literally recorded 17 new songs, and Ron and Jimmy played to 15 of them. So, you know, then Nathan has to pick the ones that he thinks of melody lines and lyrics, and there's some great material that some of it's great that sounds just like Vessel of Light that he didn't, you know, finish or start or whatever. And then there's other songs like, maybe that wouldn't be a Vessel of Light, so maybe that would be something else. So I just write and then I record it. Sometimes I write music that has nothing to do with anything I would really put out as a record. But so I only record the things that I think have potential to be a Vessel of Light song. Like, I'm not going to go record music. Actually, I did. I have one song that's more like a bluesy rock song that I envisioned Mark from TT Quick except singing, maybe, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the most part, now I definitely don't think before I write, because if I do that, it'll be bad. So I've just been writing and writing and writing, you know.
Yeah.
The last couple of years since I met Nathan, in some magazine today or yesterday, I did an interview and they asked me, you know, where my inspiration comes, and I want to say it's all because I'm so talented, but a lot of it has to do with him. Like I was telling the journalist, like if I drove out to Cleveland a couple times and we recorded the EP and I think my music is great, and then Nathan wrote what I thought to be mediocre lyrics and melody lines, I would probably never talk to him again. I would just say, okay, this is it. But because everything we do together seems to be getting better and better.
It is.
Even Bobby Blitz today told me, like, you found the perfect guy. He sent me a text, like, honestly, he's like, you couldn't find anybody better than Nathan for singing your things, you know? And I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool coming from a guy I did a record with, you know?
Yeah.
So he's inspiring me. I don't want to look at you and, you know, you'd be uncomfortable when we drive home tonight if you come home with me. But, yeah, just the fact that how the end product has been gets me so excited. Like, every record I finish, like, I finished Woodshed, I had no idea what he's going to sing to it, you know?
Yeah.
And then he finishes it. I'm like, oh, my God. This is amazing. So then Thy Serpent Rise, I have to be honest. I start thinking, there's no way he can write 10 lyrics and melody lines that are killer again, because it's only been 6 months since we released Woodshed. And I had the same thought for Last Ride. And when he sent me some of his home recordings of the song Last Ride and one of the other songs, I'm like, oh my God, the damn guy did it again. Like,
Yeah.
something about us writing together just clicks, and I feel
Thanks,
like it's
man.
really easy.
I think it's awesome. And you're right. I mean, the first album where you guys are on the cover, half and half, it's a great album. It's really good. You know, it's doomy. It's got great lyrics, great songs. And then you come out with Woodshed, which is a step above that.
Definitely.
And then Thy Serpent Rise comes out, and you're like, okay, they've hit their pinnacle. And then Last Ride comes out, and you're listening to it. Every song has its own little groove to it. You feel the music when you're listening to it, you know? And I think that is so important.
So
And
you're saying you like us?
a little. Yeah.
Thank you.
I like
think
you.
the shirt speaks for everything. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. So why don't we do this? Let's play a song off the album,
Any pizza?
and then go have a slice, and then we'll come back here and we'll
If my
continue
wife's
talking.
listening, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to. You know, I just ate a few hours ago, but I have an eating disorder. So
What, you eat too much or not enough?
I eat too much.
Do you really? You never know it.
No.
That must be
You
the
would
jock
know.
in you. I think it
Before I go in the shower, I laugh at myself, and you know. But yeah, I like to eat. What song are we playing?
we are going to play Carving Station.
Awesome.
But before that, about you in the shower. But because I know what Johnny Z said. He said you were the sexiest guy, or most best-looking guy that was in Metal Blade,
It was
right?
very nice of him. Maybe back in 1982 when he met me. Yeah, definitely then. You know. Not so much now.
Yeah, well, you're still a pretty looking guy.
Thank you.
So check this out. This is probably my favorite track on the album. This is Carving Station. This song absolutely kicks ass. I hope you like it. We'll be back with Dan and Nathan. Only here on Metallicave Cranium Radio.
.com.
Streaming live.
You're tuned in to the internet's #1 heavy metal radio show.
Press play. Hot enough to melt your speakers.
DJ JD's Metallicave.
All right, back here on the Metallicave, craniumradio.com. Metal is flowing right there with some brand new Vessel of Light with Carving Station. We talked about that in the prior segment, and yeah, probably one of my favorites off of that. And it's really good stuff. Really good stuff.
Is it okay if we agree with you? I really love that song too, man.
Cool. No, I think that's really cool. I mean, the whole album has, like I was saying earlier, every song is very unique, you know, and it's got its different riffs, and that's what you do, Dan. You know, you write these riffs. I mean,
that's all I can do. There's not many things I can do in life.
And probably not, yeah, well, and sell tattoo equipment.
That, yeah.
You know, but I think it's really cool because, as you spoke about in It's All About the Riff video, available on the Metallicave YouTube channel.
So actually a documentary by a guy named Jason Stewart.
Yeah, a very, very awesome documentary, by the way.
Yeah, it's really good. I love the subject matter in that documentary. You know?
It goes everywhere.
It's really good.
Look at it. He just sits there and shakes his fucking head.
This fucking guy, dude.
What is that video about anyway, real quick?
It's about me, for God's sakes. For some reason, Jason Stewart decided to spend like 6 months and 3 million man-hours making a documentary about my musical career. And it's on the Metallicave YouTube page. Yeah. Dan Lorenzo, It's All About the Riff. I wasn't even allowed to put it on my own YouTube page.
You could share it there.
The rights were taken away from me now. But yeah, so we're here to talk about Vessel of Light, Last Ride, our new album on Nomad Eel Records.
Yeah, and it's really good. And you said the vinyl's coming out in January?
Yeah, it should be January. Vinyl moves slowly, man. So, you know, we handed in everything back in, I guess, September. Early September, the record was finished, and yeah, we got CDs and cassettes out now. You could go to iTunes, Amazon, wherever. It's digitally everywhere, so we like that.
That's cool. Now with the digital age, I mean, CDs are, some people say CDs are becoming obsolete, and I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I still like them.
Me too, man. I like having that physical copy, especially like to read Nathan's lyrics. I mean, I like to read them on vinyl. This way you don't have to squint. You know, I'm 50 now. You know, I have to put the readers on. When you read on a CD, you know, you got to squint a little bit. But to read it on vinyl, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, yeah.
The lyrics as you play the songs.
Yeah.
Check it out on the CD, which I have over here.
Cool.
Which is absolutely awesome. And yeah, you guys have to sign that for me too.
Okay.
To have you guys here tonight is really, really cool. Someone asked earlier, do you have any material written for the next album?
They must not have been listening to the no. Yes. So if we wanted to do it, I have literally 10 songs recorded, guitars, drums, and bass to 8 of them. But you know, I don't know if they're Vessel of Light songs. If Nathan can't think of a melody line and lyrics, then maybe not. You know, I did send a couple to a friend of yours to sing to.
Oh, cool.
But you know, it's been really easy writing with Nathan, so I'm sure if we wanted to, but right now we just want to promote Last Ride, obviously.
Yeah, and well worthy of it, because it is my favorite of the 4 albums you have put out so far, and they just get better and better, and I can only imagine what the next one's going to be. I don't even want to talk about it, you know.
Maybe we'll go in a different direction. We'll actually be worse, you know, just to break things up, you know, instead of getting better with each album. We'll try.
No, I've seen that before. Metallica's done it a bunch of times.
I was gonna say, it'll be your Saint Anger.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's cool, man. So, people wanted me to ask not only about this album, but there's a lot of fans right now hanging out that are fans of Ancient Wisdom and Hades and nonfiction. And so Nathan, so you're writing the lyrics for Vessel of Light now, and it's pretty quick how you come up with all these songs and all that stuff. How do you come up with new, fresh content constantly? Because it's amazing. It really is.
Thank you,
between
man.
Vessel of Light
Appreciate it.
and Ancient Wisdom, I mean, it's got to be a good amount of albums and a shit ton of songs.
I'm a songwriter, man. I write a lot of songs, you know. For me, it's just something I've been doing for a long time, and Ancient Wisdom, it's really easy to constantly write stuff because the Occult is an endless supply of material to write about and a never-expanding kind of thing. So, and also with the last Ancient Wisdom album, Mundus, I kind of like was writing material about like what's going on right now, you know, which is sort of premeditated or almost like predictive or something crazy, like that, you know. So I don't know. For me, it comes pretty naturally. I've been a musician almost, you know, 2/3 of my life or whatever. Since I've been 12 years old, 11 years old, I've been playing drums and bass.
And you played drums on Woodshed, correct?
Yeah.
And the first EP.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's really cool.
So I can play a bunch of shit and write a bunch of stuff, and just keep myself occupied and write different styles of music and stuff like that. And Ancient Wisdom is a different kind of category, and Vessel Light has a totally different kind of vibe lyrically, and just keep busy, man.
That's great.
Constantly writing and
it's
stuff.
Great.
Go with what you know. Do what you're good. Do with what you're good at. You know what I mean?
Man.
Like try to just focus on what my strong points, I guess, or what I think are. Just writing lyrics, writing songs. I write solo stuff too, and just constantly write music, man.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. And I know Sean wants to ask you on air. How was it touring with Ghost?
I was a
Wisdom
blast.
with Ghost. 12. What was it? What did they call it? The 12 shows of Doom or
13 dates of Doom.
Yeah. Oh my God. How cool is that?
We had a great time. We had a blast, man. I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. It was a life
And that was when they started.
That was their first tour.
Yeah.
And we did clubs. We did like the Bowery, we did like the Roxy, we did like
Smaller
club-sized venues, and they were all sold-out shows or whatever, and we had a blast. We were just I was in my early mid-20s and started writing some songs, and all of a sudden we're on tour with Ghost, so it was pretty cool.
And you've been a Ghost fan?
I didn't know who they were before we went on tour with them. I maybe like a month before, my buddy Mike Morowitz sent me a link to Ritual Live, and I was like, oh, this band's cool. They're kind of doing a similar thing to like that Ancient Wisdom's doing, sort of, that satanic theme.
But you guys are real, and they don't really mean it.
And no, well, I don't know. I really don't know Device's stance on Satanism and stuff like that, or whatever. At this point, I really don't know where he stands with the occult and stuff like that. But it was just like this things falling into place, and not really all things that happened were very organic, and I wasn't really forcing anything. I wasn't looking to be on an agency, and then we got signed to ICM. I was working with Nick Storch. Nick Storch is one of the nicest guys I've ever met. He's helped me out a ton. He put us on tour with Ghost. He put us on tour with Enslaved.
That's awesome.
He got us on the road. He believed in us. He still loves our music, and
it's very unique.
Thank you.
Very unique, because is it more like an acoustic?
Yeah, well,
right. But you play the drum, but it's not drums, right?
It's
in every way. It's
I call it like percussion, or like abstract percussion, because my influences were kind of like, Tom Waits, or something unconventional drumming. That, and coming from a hardcore background, I was in a band called Integrity for a while. I played drums for them for 6 years or so, and our guitar player Ribs in Ancient Wisdom played bass in Iron Age for a while too. So we all have this hardcore background, and people expected a band with Iron Age members and Integrity members to sound like a hardcore band, but we just totally did something completely opposite. We just wanted to write songs that were our own, and not try to create a sound, or not try to write for a sound that already existed, kind of. We're just like,
I think
let's be experimental, let's be creative, let's just try something different, and if it works, it works. Our buddy Alex Hughes played upright bass with a bow on the album.
That's so cool.
Wade Allison, rest in peace, my brother for life. He played machete on the record.
How crazy
machete
is that?
We all just threw ideas, together, and just did something experimental and fun, and it ended up, a couple months later, Nick Storch hits me up. He's like, because we're working with Steve Damasio from TP Records, and he was interested in our music, and then a month later we're on tour with Ghost, and I'm like, oh fuck, man, this is
that's awesome.
Interesting chain of events. It was just kind of just something that happened. I didn't really expect it.
I think that's great, and you fit with them very well for that album.
And Blood Ceremony too. Blood Ceremony, great band. So it was an awesome tour. It was a fucking blast.
Cool.
And I love the Blood Ceremony dudes. I love the Ghouls. They're my homies and shit. And
that's really cool.
Still talk to those guys and stuff.
Yeah, really cool,
nice, man.
Hell yeah.
I think that's really cool, man. And you got Dan with his history. This guy from Hades and
Yeah,
The
it's
Curse, the
funny
nonfiction.
And we really didn't know. We've never met each other, until 4 years ago when I discovered Ancient Wisdom, which is, it's kind of really so weird the way things turned out.
You were just going through YouTube videos looking for doom metal? Or?
Yeah, because my wife, I was leaving for Austin, Texas, and Gina loves stoner rock, even though we're straight. I've told the story in my documentary a million times. And when I Googled Austin stoner rock, I think one of the second or third bands to pop up was Ancient Wisdom, and I played the song The Opposition just 35 times in 2 days. I just was so freaked out by it.
Yeah.
And then it's funny that, all this history together, but, because there's a big difference in the age, we never crossed paths before that,
But your history is rich in the metal scene here on the East Coast, You did kind of like a similar thing with nonfiction, with the riffs, and you got heavier.
Oh, yeah. No, I think nonfiction is, and Vessel of Light is what nonfiction would have become, It's funny because after we did 3 nonfiction records, and it felt like everything was going backwards after we came home from Europe, I just didn't have the desire to really be in a band. I fell in love, and I never would have been able to write this many songs for nonfiction. I was thinking about that the other day. Even though the music is so similar, there's no way I'd be that inspired to write 4 albums in 3 years if it was just more nonfiction. There's no chance.
Right. Well, I'm glad you're Vessel of Light now.
Yeah, definitely.
You put a new light on it, and
No pun
it's
intended.
great. Yeah, no pun intended.
I was wondering if there was a pun intended.
There was.
Okay.
And the vessel you work in.
That was as bad as Nathan's dad joke. Come on.
Oh, I know. Hey. But no, it's great stuff, man. You guys work very well together, and you really do.
We agree. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. You want to tell us one more time where everybody can get your?
Yeah, so it's Vessel of
material?
Light Music on, I think, Instagram. Vessel of Light Band on Facebook. But Nomad Eel Records, they have the vinyl pre-sale right now. Nomad Eel has the CDs and the cassettes right now. And, of course, digital is everywhere. We retain the digital rights. So wherever you buy your digital music, Bandcamp pays us quickly. That's great. But also the T-shirts, Ancient Wisdom, Hades, Nonfiction, and Vessel of Light, seasonofmist.com.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you just go there and type in the band you want, and boom.
And they have every band in the world. I mean, they have thousands of bands.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
More sites. I think that's a great site to do that.
Yeah.
But hell yeah, man. So we're gonna play "The Death of Innocence" next. I wanted to play "Last Ride," but I do that almost every week. But this is a song that I've not played yet, and I want everybody to hear this song. It's got a good groove to it, as they all do, and it's just a really good tune. I know Dan's yawning. You ready for bed?
No, I'm not yawning.
I know.
I want to go eat more pizza.
All right, well, have a good slice. So check it out. Here is another kick-ass track off of their brand new album, Last Ride, which you can get now everywhere. Check it out. You're going to enjoy this on the Metallicave. Hey, Cranium Radio.
.com.
Hey, this is Dan Lorenzo from the band Vessel of Light. Here's a track off the new Vessel of Light album, Last Ride.